I want to speak to what it felt like for me to be back on stage. It was that little girl inside of me was going, yes, 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 yes. I was so freaking excited, but I didn't know how much I had missed it. I had no idea how important it was to me. And now it's something that as long as I can do it, I'm going to be doing it. And I'm really happy that I said yes. So I want you to think about this. Is there something that you once loved that might still be waiting for you? And maybe it's not that thing, because maybe it is something that you choose not to do, but what was that feeling that you had that is missing right now that you'd like to bring back?
Camera action. We're back for your satisfaction from Action Business Furniture Studios is where it's happening. We have a special guest star appearance today from Gabe Kruger Ribble. Yay, give it up. And taking it on today is your host, John Byron. Yay!
All right. Well, super excited about this conversation. And I was probably going to say this later, but I just can't help myself. So I grew up in New Jersey on the East Coast I don't know what caused this, but in my growing up, divas was like a bad word. It was something that you used to make fun of people. It was, oh, don't be such a diva. Oh, like all this stuff. And so I grew up with that. And obviously I lived in California for a little while, so my perceptions adjusted and all of that stuff. But meeting you, like, I don't know what different people think of when they hear diva, but you're such an amazing presence.
Oh, thank you.
And when I met you and Dave together, I mean, the combination is amazing, but I just, speaking to you since you're our guest, like, you change the feel in a room in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
And you undid years of perception of diva for me. And so I appreciate you for that. I can't wait to have this conversation. It's going to be so great. Welcome to Friday Conversations. Normally I would do that when we were introducing you, but I wanted to start with that.
Thank you.
This is a kind of an experimental roundtable podcast we've been doing for a handful of months now, and I've loved doing it. I enjoy the people that come, and I'm excited to hear from everybody that's here in the room. We usually start out with introductions, so I'm not going to delay any further. I'm going to kick it off to my left, and I won't say your name because that takes away your thunder.
Right, takes away the thunder. No, actually, it works either way. Hi, everyone. I'm Rob Bruder of ITIC Designs, and I am a technology solutions professional. I like to work with small businesses that have growth concerns, struggling to get the message out and help them find the right technology solutions for that. And one of the things, events we usually like to announce that I want to start telling everybody about is I'm opening up office hours at Made with Love Bakery on West Dean. We're in West Central neighborhood. And on Wednesdays and Saturdays, you'll be able to find me there if you want to follow me on Facebook or look for my posts in Small Business and Entrepreneurs. You can get the details on when I'm available and how we can talk.
Awesome. Welcome. I'm going to cut you off, Heidi.
Okay.
Because you didn't start yet. You reminded me. So one of the things, as we're going around the room, if you have an event that you are hosting yourself, you're planning on attending, or you just wish that you could make it to, this is a great time to shout that out, make other people aware of event opportunities. Thank you.
I'm Heidi Simmons with Empower and Engage, and since school is recently back in session, a lot of times that comes with a big transition at home, so there could be some chaos, could be kind of loud in your home. So I help parents calm that chaos in the home and connect with their kids on a stronger level. And so if you would like to know more about that, reach out at Heidi@empowerandengage.com.
Excellent.
Cool. My name is Mariah Screvin. I'm new here. Definitely did not know I was walking into being on a podcast. Yeah, very interesting. So I'm a founder and sole provider at Uplift ADHD Clinic, where I offer wraparound services for kids and families impacted by ADHD. I do in-home evaluations and in-home and in-school supports, as well as telehealth or online parent coaching or adolescent coaching or college student coaching as well. And yeah, you can reach out to me at www.upliftadhdclinic.com.
Perfect. Welcome.
My name is James Kettner. I own J2K Sales Pros, which basically is an option to learn how to close at a high ratio, develop your business. Or you can rent me as a salesperson. My closing ratios are 60 and 90%, which basically leads the country in a certain method that I use. So yeah, that's me.
I am Melissa Byron with Thrive Wellness, and I am a health and wellness coach. But I also help with healthy mind and healthy body, whatever that might be for you as an individual. I help people lose weight, stay at a healthy weight, just have healthy snacks throughout the day, whatever it is. And then I also help with coaching couples, children, or adult children even, and really just life and how to have a healthier mindset with just life. Because man, sometimes it's tough.
Interesting.
Oh, thanks.
I am Cindy Hall. I am here, I was invited by Dave Ribble over there and Gabe. I am retired, 40 years working for the state of Washington, and on to my second adventure. I am a president of our local chapter of the Public Employees Retirement Council. And we have about 13,000 members in the state of Washington. And one of my things is trying to, it's for people who are retired with pensions from the state of Washington. And what we do is we pretty much fight to keep the government from keeping their hands off on our pension and investing it well, and also working with the legislators and with bills and things that affect us. Also with senior citizens, one of our main concerns is Medicare and our health care and cuts that might be coming or things that might be happening. So in my chapter here in Spokane, I think we got about 850 members. But one of my things is in a senior situation, a lot of times you lose people because of old age and natural death and dying. And trying to get a lot more people to join who are younger seniors. So that's kind of what my goal is, connecting and talking to people.
Awesome. Welcome.
Well, good afternoon. My name is Ramel Watson. So I'm kind of wearing two hats today. So my main bread and butter hat is I work for Eastern Washington University. I'm the Associate Director for Employer Relations. And so I've been doing that job for about 15 years. And so I'm a longtime Eagle, went to school there. So that's my alum location as well. And so my other hat, I am in the film production industry. So I'm a screenwriter and I'm just kind of building my Watson Productions. And so I do screenplay development and film production. So yeah.
Thanks.
Hey everybody, my name's Steve Hicks with Thriving Body Holistic Fitness. I coach a habit-based approach that's really sensible, really reasonable, and sustainable. 72% of my clients have been able to maintain weight loss 5 years after completing the program. And I think a big part of that is just meeting people really where they are instead of trying to get them into like the CrossFit doghouse, you know?
Hello, I'm Zane Schwindeman. I'm with Zebra Go, and we specialize in helping small business owners get some of their time back. We handle the whole customer communication process. So incoming calls, appointment reminders, follow-ups after the appointment, all while you're out doing what you signed up to do, business, your job, your trade. So we handle that so you can rest a little bit easier. And you can check us out at zebrago.io.
Good crowd today.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Dave Ribble from Standout Mastery. Communication, connection, and collaboration are the three things that we pivot on. After I wrote the book on this stuff called The Way of the Conscientious Connector, the next step was to create Standout Mastery. And Standout Mastery is where you can come get a little bit of a taste of what we do and work with me on a bi-weekly basis to figure out some things, get a little bit more confident in what you're doing, bring more value to the job you have so that other people want to take a look at you as well. There's a lot to it. And I'd love for you to come to the September 20th Standout Mastery Summit. It's going to be in Spokane from 9 to 4. And I'd be happy to give you all the information on that. If you can't find it on SSBE, I'll get it to you myself. So just go to dave@daveribble.com and plug that in, say, hey, give me the scoop on that stuff, and I'll be happy to do that for you. That's it.
That's it. I'm Dave's better half. He would say that.
Much.
And a diva.
Yes.
So to clarify where you were at with diva often has that kind of negative connotation to it, that it's someone who behaves badly because they're entitled. So our definition of diva is at the top of your game. Whole different way of looking at it. And where I am a diva is with the diva shows. It's a musical show where we have 7 divas. We are ages 24 to 74. I'm the oldest. And I can happily say that because I'm excited that I'm doing this now. I'm also the CEO of Standout Marketing Strategies. It's a promotional marketing business. I am partner to my husband, Dave Ribble, in Standout Mastery. I also have a coaching business where I help people soothe their limiting beliefs. And I have a lot of stuff.
You do.
I'm a Renaissance woman, and I'm speaking today.
Yes. Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. Mike?
We have to make this a little educational every once in a while. So today we're going to cover equilibrium. What is equilibrium? So if we have price on the x-axis and quantity on the y-axis, equilibrium, we have to understand, is where both supply and demand meet. So let's say we have demand, which is always drooping down. Supply is always drooping down and demand is always drooping up. So this point right here where supply meets demand, that is called equilibrium. Now you guys know, the more you know. Till next week.
Thank you, Mike. And I am Jonathan Byron. I'm host for today. Been host for a while.
You're just the host.
I'm the host.
Yeah.
That's what we let you think.
I appreciate it too. I really do. It's nice. I am a realtor. I help people buy houses, sell houses. I'm a little busy right now, so maybe call me next year. No, just kidding. I've got room for more. So it's a great time to make a move. I was just telling some clients yesterday, I was showing them a house and we're talking about listing their house, buying, and we are at a point now in the market. I created this visual on the spot. I kind of like it. So if you're at the ocean and the waves are coming in and the waves are going out, if you're trying to go out and the waves coming in, it's tough. If you're trying to go out and the waves going out, you kind of, if you're fighting against the waves, it can be tough. There's this sort of point, and if you've ever been to the ocean, it's one of my favorite places. There's this point where the wave has come in and it hasn't started going out yet, and it's very calm. And that's kind of the moment that we're in right now with real estate, pretty much around the country, but definitely here in the Spokane market. So it's a really good time to make a change. If you've been in a house for a while and you're thinking about moving, it's a good time to move. If you've been thinking about buying a house for a long time, this is probably a good time to start looking at getting into that. So that's kind of where we're at with the market snapshot. I do really genuinely would love to talk to you now. It takes some time to get people onboarded. So we might start talking now, and 6 months from now, you're getting keys to your brand new house. I have had one time, I had somebody call me on a Friday, and by the following Friday, they had keys to their new condo. That's the fastest I've ever had somebody turn over from, I think I might be interested to sold. So don't set that as your expectation. It takes a little bit of time. So, but it's never been a better time to get started with that process. So that's a little bit about everybody in the room. I say this almost every week. I wish that I could spend more time on each one of you because it's so fascinating what you're doing and how you're doing it. And if we could just go around and like take a deep dive, take an hour for each of you, that'd be awesome. We have a topic, we have a guest. We're not going to do that today. Rob kind of gestured, yes, we want to mention actually a few things. One, we are in Action Business Furniture. We want to thank them for hosting us. They have some incredible new and used furniture. Great folks here. If you're looking for furniture for your office, for your business, from huge, I mean, they do big, massive contracts, all the way down to, hey, I need a new office chair. They can help you out with that, and they're really great to work with. Also, I want to thank Idic Designs. Rob Reuter is our lunch host today. He brought lunch, and was really good. Appreciate that. This is our new format. We're here for lunch every week. So those of you that are watching at home, schedule next week. Plan on being here. We would love to have you, and we have a great conversation teed up today. So I want to hand it off to you, but I kind of want to tee it up a little bit.
Please.
You sent me this quote, and I'm going to pull it up to make sure I read it right because I keep getting it wrong as well. Don't die with the music still in you. And that's a quote from Wayne Dyer.
Yeah, with the music in you. Yeah.
With the music in you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So talk to us about that.
Well, I'm actually going to kind of end with that, but there was another quote that I found that's similar, which I think keys this up. It's from Les Brown, motivational speaker. You can hear him a lot on the radio. And what he said was, the graveyard is the richest place on earth. Because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled. The books never written, the songs never sung, the inventions never shared, and the cures never discovered. Let that land. And when I thought about it, I said, okay, a cemetery, a graveyard is the richest place on earth. Of course, you know, in my head, I said, oh, a diamond mine, Wall Street. And no, and then I got it, because it's like, this is the place where so many unexpressed potentials lie. So think about that, and maybe think about what dream or passion that you might still have inside of you that you do not want to go to the graveyard, that you want to leave behind. So BD, B for Dave. I was an actress for 25 years. And I did over 100 television commercials and episodic TV. I starred in over 40 musicals. It wasn't a huge career, but it was a nice career and a successful career. And then in my early 40s, I realized that there really weren't enough roles for me to even audition for. And I had gotten really good at business, in particular, the promotional marketing business. So I left acting. And acting was something that I had done since I was a tiny little girl. It was a very difficult decision to make, but I felt that there just wasn't enough opportunity that was there. And one of the things I did think, and I gave myself this kind of little out, I said, well, maybe someday I'll be a golden girl. You know, I'll come back like in my 60s or 70s. That was very prophetic. So then Dave comes into my life, and the two of us started doing the promotional marketing industry, and we were really good at it. The challenge was that we were doing days that were like 11 to 14-hour days and doing it 6 days a week. I had the concept in my head that I could be very successful if I worked very hard, because that's what I was told. That was my concept. And so we worked very hard. And we got to a point where we burned ourselves out. And then 2008 happened. Oh boy, things totally fell apart. So we moved out of our home in Sherman Oaks. And we spent 9 years in a condo in Long Beach. I, at that time, actually had gotten very sick because I think I made myself sick. It was just really too much. And then a lot of, as life will kind of bring you to a new space, a lot of synchronicities happened. And 6 years ago, we ended up in Spokane. I have to tell you, before that, I didn't even know where Spokane was. I had never heard of Spokane. I had heard of Coeur d'Alene, but I had not heard of Spokane. And he used to tease me all the time about, because he had a friend who wanted us to come up and visit. And I said, and he'd say, hey, when we moved to Spokane, and I said, we're not moving to Spokane. I don't even know where Spokane is. And sure enough, again, prophetic, we're living in Spokane. Now, this was a new chapter for us. Now, I want to preface all of this with, I feel, and I'm going to brag on Dave right now, but I feel that Dave is really the epitome of what I'm bringing up today. In his 60s, he wrote his book, The Way of the Conscientious Connector. In his 70s, he created Standout Mastery. So it's like he didn't take age as an excuse for not doing something. I work with a lot of people that they use, oh, I've missed my window. And then for me, I had stepped away from performing for 30 years. And then I said yes to Sandra Marlowe, my writing partner, about this idea she had for a diva show. Now, the diva show, just for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's 7 divas, different ages, all female, and it's our authentic voices through music and the genres that we picked. I'm the Broadway diva. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
So the Broadway, pop, blues, jazz, and country. And we have different themes. So the first show was What She Said, a feminine perspective. Second show was What She Did. Then we did What She Said Back. That was our salute to the 50s. And What She Said Best was a combination of kind of the best of all the shows. We did a Very Diva Christmas last year. We just completed What She Wants, which I thought was very provocative and really fun. And we're now in rehearsals for the new A Very Diva Christmas. So this is all since 2022. I was not on stage for 30 years, and I said yes to this. Now I have to admit, I thought she just wanted me to write it and direct it. But when she said, no, I want you to be our Broadway diva, I went, oh, I haven't sung for 30. Karaoke, yes, not on stage. And she said, no, we want you to do it. I went, okay. And I worked really hard at it. And every year it got a little better. Every year, and I'm confident now. I'm very diva now. But in the beginning, it was challenging. So I want to speak to what it felt like for me to be back on stage. It was that little girl inside of me was going, yes. I was so freaking excited because I didn't know how much I had missed it. I had no idea how important it was to me. And now it's something that as long as I can do it, I'm going to be doing it. And I'm really happy that I said yes. So I want you to think about this. Is there something that you once loved that might still be waiting for you? And maybe it's not that thing, because maybe it is something that you choose not to do, but what was that feeling that you had that is missing right now that you'd like to bring back? Or what dream have you told yourself it's too late for them. What if it isn't? So I want you to kind of think about that. Now, here's what I learned, and I'm going to put this into the center of the room. Passion doesn't expire. Now, passion and how you feel can change, and things can stimulate it in different ways. So many times I've noticed as I work with some of my coaching students, many people will put their passion on a shelf because they've been hurt. And the challenge that's there is that they're afraid to feel again. What I noticed was bringing joy and passion back into your life it's like a vibrational energy that attracts more of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's healing in itself. And that's a big part of it. Also, purpose. How many times have I heard someone say, I want to know what my purpose is? And purpose is not a one size fits all. It doesn't have to be something huge. It can be something as personal to you and as intimate to you as my purpose is to wake up every morning and show kindness to everyone I meet. And how will that make you feel? And what difference will that make in the world? Sometimes it's as simple as that. So you don't have to say, oh, it has to be some big, great thing, but make sure that you are checking in with yourself. And the other thing that I also noticed was a lot of people say, well, I have no clue about what that might be. So where I always go to is when I was a little girl. What were the things as a little girl that lit me up? And kind of use that as a clue to start finding out. And then come to present day, now moment, and say, let me be aware of those things I'm attracted to. People that I enjoy having conversations with, music that I love, and anything that lights me up. That I need to include more of in my life so that the joy is there. So the purpose is about expressing what is inside of you, and that's what really matters. So I kind of want to ask this question and kind of put it out there, and then I'm going to kind of in the conversation, hopefully we'll have a conversation about how you get to something. So I wanted to, okay, where are my questions here? Some of this. So what passion have you maybe let slip away that you'd love to revisit? And what's one small step that you might be able to take this week to get that feeling back? So I'm going to kind of throw that out in the room.
It's good. And while you guys are thinking about it, two thoughts. One is it's interesting when we're so focused and listening, like we're receiving, and then it gets thrown and it's like, So as you guys go through that moment, the thought that I had, and this is for everybody in the room, but for those listening at home or watching this on YouTube, whatever your example is that you are slowly getting to, or you're like, oh, don't minimize that somebody needs to hear that, and you need to hear yourself say it. So even if it's silly or feels awkward, whatever, and I would even say whatever the first thing that comes to mind, the one that you're like, no, I gotta think of something more profound. We're not trying to be profound here.
You know what might help is that sometimes here's another clue: curiosity. What are you curious about? What is something that you're curious about that you haven't really investigated yet that is curious enough that it may be something that lights you up? So I'm gonna put that in the room. Yes.
So this is a funny one, and it just kind of fits in because it started this morning, even before found out what your question was going to be. But one of my things is that I love traveling. I love to go somewhere else experience something else, I have to have it for a cert burst, because then I gotta get home again and get around things I'm familiar with. But I really do, start with that, and I've put that off for a variety of reasons, and I've just said, I've got obligations, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. And this morning I was sitting with a coffee at a coffee shop and just scrolling through my notes, and it popped up that one of my groups that I'm in is doing a intentional dinner event in Greenwich, Connecticut.
My home.
And I was going, can I really pull this off? In between, I have class on Tuesday, the event's on Wednesday, and then I have class on Thursday. And I found myself going, I think I could really do this if I put on my memories of what it was like when I was in my 20s and 30s and realized I can fly out of here in the evening, fly all night, arrive in the morning, do the whole festivities thing, and then get on an early flight the next day and be back here in time to run class. I could do this.
Wow.
So now I think I'm committed. I have to go to Greenwich in November.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
And how does that make you feel?
Well, it was making me excited because it's a group of 40 people. I don't know who's all attending yet, but I know the group I'm in, and any one of them, I would love to be able to sit and get to know them and things. And these are people that they have much bigger businesses than I do. And so just the opportunity to get to know them, it's like, wow, this would be cool.
I think that's amazing because I mean, I can kind of hear all of us in the room going, well, I don't know if I'd do that. But I get your enthusiasm and your intention and your powerful reasons why, because all that really matters is how he feels about it and what he's doing. And he's doing that, taking that action. That kind of action and you showing up for a day with these people is going to be so impressive to them. And it will create something amazing. You have no idea what yet, but I would love to have you report back, after the event, okay, this paid off
Right.
big time. That's beautiful.
Well, I'm glad that Rob jumped in. Sorry, Heidi.
Oh, that's good.
Because as he was talking, I was thinking of like tying it back to something you said earlier in your overview. Was like Rob was talking about when he was younger, really enjoyed exploring new places. And you had mentioned that sometimes the passion doesn't have to be the same mechanism, but
Yes.
it gives the same feeling. And if you've stalked Rob's Facebook, he's got this tendency to go explore new small businesses in the area. And so I think he's still like, whether it's the big grandiose trip, I think he does a good job of kind of chasing that feel in maybe a different way, but in a consistent way. So I thought that was great to kind of tie in. And then since I'm talking, I'll share mine. And then Heidi, I'm sorry, we'll get back to you. I've always kind of wanted to do like stand-up comedy. Just a joke teller. I don't know if that's shocking.
It's the joke.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to do a lot of stand-up, like open mic stuff, but I do like the public speaking and the cracking jokes and just making people feel silly and goofy and wacky. And I know a lot of times when I get into public speaking, it's a little bit more almost like professorial lecture style, and it definitely could incorporate more of that feel of kind of that goofy kid. I think I do a good job in the comment sections on the fly videos each week. I crack some silly, stupid joke, but it's fun.
So I love that you're owning that now because we're going to kind of hold you to it.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a really beautiful lane for you to start to trust your humor because you are naturally funny.
Yeah.
And when you do speak, to stay less in your being the professor and more into you know your stuff. And then allow for your humor to come through, because it's going to be very engaging and you'll probably be asked even more to speak. I think it's awesome.
And people love you for it.
Yeah. I think it's great. I can totally see that.
Yeah.
And I actually can totally see you trying to stand up.
Oh, for sure.
And we know what it's going to be called. It's going to be Stephen's Loud American. But there's some great routines among, now crowd work is becoming a popular way of comedy, which is not about, having a segment, but it's really just about interacting with people and bringing some humor to it.
You'd be great at that.
And there's a whole group of us who will be in the audience.
Even try your jokes out on us.
Yeah, right.
So I'm guessing that when you're at home, you're probably like, "Ooh, that was a good one." No, that would kill if I could just get on stage and say it the way I wanted to say
Dude,
it.
there's definitely some back pocket lines I'll save.
Nice.
I mean,
Keeping that.
these are things I thought of, but at the same time, like to our guest's point, it's like the ability to where how can you bring your authentic self to that stage to where, because oftentimes there's that gap, there's the vulnerable self that you have at home where all of the chemistry sort of happens. And then the stage happens and you're like, where is that same chemistry? Like if there's a way to bring those two worlds together where they're able to actually see that side that you see when you're in the confines of your own home, that a lot of times that's where the beauty happens. And I've noticed that even with more experienced comedians, they get to that point where they just kind of put their hands up and like, oh, I don't really care what anyone thinks. I'm just going to be me. And that's usually when their best work tends to come out.
Well, you actually said it though. It's the experience.
Yeah.
So the putting yourself out there and trusting in your humor. You have humor. It's your humor. It's uniquely yours. Whether you tell a joke in the same joke as someone else, it's going to be unique to you.
Oh, my humor is certainly unique.
Yeah. So what I love is just you kind of claiming this part of you. I think it's awesome.
What I would
Good for you.
say to this is a buddy of mine, he started doing YouTube videos and doing Jay-Z and a bunch of people. And he ended up going wild and out and having his own show on Fox off of YouTube.
Wow.
So you have the opportunity to do your own destiny.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I still love fitness. I'm not ditching fitness, but when I
Funny
talk about it,
fitness.
Yeah.
right?
I
can
I
definitely.
think it's funny.
You need to drop 100 pounds. Hey, look, if you see some of those clowns on Instagram, it's easy enough to make fun of.
Right.
No lack of material.
Heidi? You were
Well, the best way to expand your comfort zone is to jump out of your comfort zone. And I was listening to, there's this successful businesswoman that I've been following for a while. And she talked about when she first started out, her first speaking gig was, she had never spoken in front of people. She didn't know what she was going to talk about, but she decided she was going to, and then she decided what she was going to say. And I'm thinking I'd like to get into more public speaking. I have a lot I'd like to share with people, and I'd like to have a bigger audience to share with more people at once. And so that's what I did. I had an opportunity to speak. It hasn't happened yet, but I have a date set and working on what I'm gonna say, and it's gonna start. So
see, that's also incredible. It's the say yes to the opportunity.
Yeah.
Because opportunities come up, and just because you haven't done it in the past doesn't mean that it isn't something that's for you. Because it may very well be an opportunity that is for you that you need to step up to do to see how you feel about it. And not everybody needs to be up on stage and speaking. Sometimes the opportunity is the supporting somebody who is on stage.
Yes.
And I have a lot of friends who have really stepped up to, one of them who has really stepped up to support the Diva Show and to be in the background helping us with things. And that was huge. That was huge for us, but it was also something that was super fun for them. They said, "Oh, I'll do this again. This was really fun. I love being a part of this." Who else?
Well, Jonathan said first thing that came to mind. First thing that came to my mind as a child, I remember every book that the school library had about chimpanzees was mine. I loved Jane Goodall. I wanted to go live with the chimpanzees. So I'm not making any steps to do that. But yeah, that was a huge passion of mine. And I don't know, now I'm with a company called Zebra Go, so I don't know if there's some correlation there.
So let me ask you, what was it about the chimpanzees that you loved?
Their potential for intelligence and just their ability to connect and the way that they formed their social groups as well. Bonobos were kind of a big part of that, and the way that they take care of each other in a family group. And yeah.
So has that affected you as an adult?
Ooh. Now you're asking the deep questions.
It's kind of
That's
what
what we're here for.
The one thing, it was actually really cool. They found some footage of Jane Goodall a few years ago and put it together. And so I was able to share that with my kids and sat down and watched them. They're like, "Why are we watching this?" I'm like, "Because you're gonna love chimpanzees."
The thing that's so great is I think that because of how you just shared with me, I mean, I may not have been looking at those same books, but I remembered that when I saw some of the video, Jane, of how fascinated I was by it. First of all, you make me want to go see that again. But the part of it that I loved was community and that sense of community. And it's an instinct. And I think that if you take a look at how you show up for people in a community, you show up very much in that way. And that's something that you take with you. And I love the idea of you kind of sharing that with your kids, but you've also just shared it with us and with the audience. And it's something that we do, that I'm going to think about and look into more. I love that. So I thank you.
Nice.
Something you said was they help each other. And that is very much in your nature, just observing you helping your wife out right now with school. Really stepping out in a different role at home with your kids and really bringing that, help in there, that community in there. It's huge. And so, yes, that was an imprint on your life as a child, but that imprint has stayed with you.
That's awesome. Maybe next time, instead of humming beforehand, we can all make chimpanzee noises. I want to do a little experiment. Stephanie Wheeler, who has been here, and I think she kind of tunes in.
Yeah.
She mentioned talking about breast cancer survivors, speaking to them. And so I asked her if I could get her on Zoom, and I have her on Zoom. This is untested. I've not tried this before, but Stephanie, first of all, can we hear you?
Can you hear me? Okay, I am unmuted. I didn't even realize that. So I'm glad I did not interrupt here with any noises.
You're in the room and you're speaking to all of us. We can hear you and see you. So can you kind of expound a little bit about cancer survivors and that piece of the passion that you have?
Sure. Well, I'm a therapist first. As well. So, and I work with complex trauma, and I'm also a breast cancer survivor, a stage 3C breast cancer survivor, and so of 6 years. So I have been on a large journey from breast cancer to then an autoimmune disease, and in remission with both of those, and it's really been an incredible experience, and I just have a large passion for that population, but also how trauma lives in the body and healing in that way. And I do the one-on-one work in my sessions and in therapy, but I've really felt a strong calling to bring that to larger groups. And in certain ways, I am on the path to do that as I deepen in my I think I mentioned IFS in my comment. So internal family systems is a model I use in therapy. And is also really a way of life. And so that ties into it as well. And I'm deepening in that training and have had some recent opportunities that have opened up since I've been here in Spokane. So setbacks have been a recent move to Spokane from the Midwest, and some large personal changes have set me back, but I feel like I'm back on that path a little bit here now.
Awesome. Thank you.
I love how, first of all, I love just your energy. And one of the things that I think is really important to remember is that many times the challenges that we go through are truly the opportunities that are there for us to show up in new ways. And you have taken a very challenging time in your life. You are a survivor, and you're coming from having been there, but also which I think is really helpful to people who are going through it, in this now moment. But you turned your challenge into a huge opportunity. And that's an inspiration for all of us. And that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for. I feel that when you surround yourself with people who are inspirational, it rubs off. And even if you think, oh, I'm not inspiring at all, I'm telling you that simple kindness, is something that you can choose to do every day that makes a huge difference in everyone's lives that you come in touch with. You'll be able to see that. There are times when I will on purpose go into Trader Joe's and I turn a little switch on and I light that light from within, and I'm just smiling at people, and people are going like, who's that? Who's that? Who's that? So, but I'm making their day be brighter.
Check her pockets.
Hey, Dave and I will do things like we will, if the music is really good, down and out, we'll dance in an aisle.
Love it.
And that's not to show off. We really are very into that together, of that specialness. If we've been together 30 years and we're still dating,
It's awesome.
I think it's important.
Bring life,
Yeah.
Lively people try to bring life into other people's lives,
Yes.
however small, and sometimes that's the life you can lead. Sometimes you can either bring life or you can take it away with negativity. And so you can ultimately choose.
Well, and by profession, you put out fires sometimes.
Sure.
I'll
redirect them.
Yeah. But you're looking for the good that can come from a conflict.
Oh, yeah. But it's hard in my work in the career center, because I was also an advisor for students. Was many of them, there were some that were very passionate, and then there were some that weren't sure, and there was a whole bunch of them where they just didn't realize that they had those potentials. And so once you started to kind of peel back those layers and explain that those are some very special and unique things to them, then the light bulb goes off. But so much of their life, I think, given the nature of our students being first gen and being low income, I think by the time we get them, the world has already kind of shown them that those possibilities may not be available to them, or they may have to do a lot more. It just seems more distant. And then some may see that light, others, it may be a lot dimmer and darker for them. And so a lot of times just kind of bringing that out and showing that, hey, it's possible, and here's how. and know you're doing it the right. Sometimes they just want to know they're doing it the right way. They know you're doing great.
But what I also want to ask you is, how does that feel?
Oh, goodness.
This is why you've been doing it for 15 years.
To breathe life into students.
Yes.
It's probably one of the most ultimate feelings that I can imagine, you know, and that ties back into my own personal purpose, the purpose that I want to bring in another way, you know, and I didn't expect it to be in this way, but
see, that's important.
yeah.
Don't expect it to be a certain way.
Yeah.
It's all about the feeling.
Yeah.
It's about the feeling that you have when
Yeah.
you're doing it. It's really not about how many you affect out here. It's how you feel. Because when you do transition, when you are not here on this planet, you don't take anything with you. That feeling that is there is the only thing.
Yeah.
That's another story about Wayne Dyer. He took a sport coat
That's right.
Yeah.
This is good.
and cut off the pockets. Just hung it up on his office, and every time he looks at it, it's a reminder. When you go, you're not taking anything with you.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
There might be specific things that I might have in store, but at the end of the day, that was what I told myself was I just want to be known for someone who gave a damn at the end of the day. And that was, for me, that's the most important. However that manifests itself, that's what I want to be. That's what I want to leave behind. Yeah.
And there are people, kids that are older now, that are doing well, that say, you know what? This man in my life made a difference. Something you said, something you did, how you showed up, changed them. And now they're doing the same with other people in their own way. That's how it happens. That's where the small kindnesses and the things you say make a huge difference. Anybody else?
I'll go.
Please.
There's two things. The first one is I have a huge heart for bringing art out of people in a lot of different ways. And I love art, but my passion is really getting what's inside of people out. And I also have a huge passion for those that are disabled in different ways or on different spectrums of autism, and it is incredible to work with people that have so much on the inside, but being able to get that on the outside, it's magic.
Yes.
Honestly.
Yes.
And I've hit a lot of roadblocks along the way with that have been honestly devastating and quite traumatic. And I'm definitely in the space of like, how do I reboot basically and start again? And I mean, John knows this, obviously, he's my husband, and it is a huge struggle of mine to just be like, okay, just stinking break through the wall already. And so that's a huge one. And then also public speaking, and because we all have a story to tell.
Yes.
We all do. And we all have different things that we've gone through that we can help people with. And I've gone through different traumas in my life. Our son has had sepsis and has a medical condition. Like, being able to help people on the sidelines with that brings me so much joy, because I'm helping another mama who is going through extreme pain and doesn't know how to get out of the muck and mire, or even how to talk to their kid or their spouse about whatever's going on with them. Like, that brings me so much joy. It just happened a few days ago. She was just like, basically, what the heck? And how do I do this? But asking those questions and being able to help guide her in curiosity but there's so much depth to it. So there's two big things. There it is.
So just for a little quickie, is there a dream?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
there? Okay,
yeah.
Yeah.
And I know that there's a calling.
yes, okay.
And it's been on my life, my entire life, with those two things, speaking and art. And
So-
it's always been there.
What I love is you put that in the center of the room, you spoke it. It has more energy for all of us now. I just wrote down a couple of connections for you already. I think you two should definitely speak.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely. But also know that even though your dream may look a certain way, there may be something else that is there that is the container for the dream that is on the way. I think that's gonna happen for you. So we also should talk later.
Yeah.
Chrysalis.
Yes.
Container for the chrysalis.
Yes.
Love it.
And I
Can I paw through your notes real quick? 'Cause
Yes, yeah.
But at the very beginning, you said something that I immediately thought about Melissa. And I almost like, what was it? Might be, and it definitely had to do with the cemetery, but then there was, I mean, it was like, almost like word for word.
Les Brown
No, maybe.
or Wayne?
Well, I am gonna,
Well, yeah,
So-
we're really close to the
Yeah.
end, so, and it was very much about like the rewarding feel of when you see somebody and you get it out of them, that there's something about that.
yes,
And I know that is something that probably like just looking around the room and the people that I know and the value that this table brings to the world around them is in that. It's these are people that know how to see value in other people and draw it out of them. So yeah, we're like really close to the end here, so.
okay, so I just want to kind of sum this up with actually, again, Wayne Dyer's quote. And it's "Don't die with the music still in you." Wayne Dyer was a wonderful mentor for the two of us. And I'd like you to kind of take with you what's one step that you could take this month that will let your music out. Write that chapter, sing the song, launch the idea, or simply bring joy back into your life. Because the world, doesn't just need your work, it needs your spark and it needs your music. That's it.
That's awesome. I love it. Well, I'm gonna have Mike wrap us up. We have just a minute before we have to do that. So like, was there like one like pressing thought that like could be summed up in less than 60 seconds that anybody was like just dying to get off?
I thought-
Saved by the bell.
A comment with Stephanie Wheeler popping on. That was the first time we did something interactive with the at-home audience. I thought
That was great.
a cool touch.
That was nice. Yeah, I think Stephanie's still there. Stephanie, thank you very, very
Hey,
much.
Stephanie.
You're muted, but go ahead and unmute and then should pick you up.
Thanks for the invite and for your presence.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. All right, so this was great. Everybody that's here in the room, thank you. Seriously, thank you for being here. Even if you didn't say a whole lot, your presence here made this what it was. Hopefully there was something valuable there. And for those of you watching on Facebook, for those of you watching on YouTube, I would echo the same thought. There was so much talked about, so many different things. My brain's full. I need to just sit in a quiet place and let all of it process. But take one thing and see how that will change the shape of your life. And I think you summed it up in your notes. I'm peeking at your notes. The greatest tragedy isn't death itself. It's leaving this world without ever sharing the gifts that only you have. And so there's something in you that needs to be shared. It doesn't have to be shared with a huge audience. Somebody in your life needs what you have, and be willing to bring that out would be amazing. And for the sake of this thing growing and becoming more and more of what it already is, if you think of somebody that would be a part of this, that would be valuable for them, send them a link. If they would value from being in the room, invite them to come with you. We would love to have more people filling this table. I think we almost went through all of the food, so if we start getting more people, we'll need to bring more food. That's a good problem to have. So
Always a good problem.
again, thanks to IDIC Designs for lunch and Action Business Furniture for hosting us. And make sure you check out Standout Mastery on September 20th. And Mike, take us away.
Stronger together. Thank you all for joining us this week. Check out all of Gay's links in the video description below. Check her out on the 20th for the Standout Mastery class. Thank you all for joining us. Remember, sharing is caring. The only way you can continue by getting quality content like this in your feed is by hitting that bell right there. Hit the bell. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys. Bye.